Before we begin, subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell to be alerted to all my new videos on building a sustainable and fulfilling career, as well as sign up for my free newsletter where I include higher detail articles, link in the description. It's time to learn how to land the gig. The time has come. An opportunity has arrived and you are ready to strike. The first thing I want to iterate is that landing a gig is like winning a battle royale, and you will lose way more than you will win. The more you play, the better you get, and when you finally land that win, it goes a long way. But it will take a lot of time, and it's not easy, so do not get disheartened if you're having a hard time landing the gig itself, but hopefully this video will help you along the way. Be patient. So the first thing, in order to land a gig, there has to be an opportunity. Hopefully you found an opportunity, and there are a couple different ways, but I'll go over a couple different scenarios. Scenario: you see a really cool project on Twitter, and you'd like to see if there's any music for it, but you can't find any. The first thing you need to do is do your fucking research. There are many games out there that will only post GIFs, and there's no audio on GIFs. GIFs, whatever. For the love of all that is good though, do your research. Find any possible information. Check their bios, check the website, see if there's a team page, see if there's a Steam page. If they have a Steam page already, they probably already have a composer. If there isn't anything that you can find, scroll through the comments to see if another audio person has already asked and received a response. Check the quote retweets to see if any of the composers have said, "I'm working on this cool game," or whatever. So next is, if you still can't find any information, if they have any composer or any audio people or whatsoever, still do not ask. Yeah, that's right, punk. Most of the time, if you see something that looks good, it's already too late. If it's on Kickstarter, it's definitely way too late most of the time. Now, even if it's not too late, as I always say, it takes time before you can slide into someone's DMs. There's something called the 6 touches of business before you can sell someone something. For audio people, I'm going to raise it to 7. You want 7 authentic, good interactions with them, where they reply to you and you have a back and forth. Not just saying, "Wow, cool project, I hope there's some sound with it." No, don't do that. We all know what you're doing. We've all been there. Don't do that. Be authentic, talk about what you like, and get some form of interaction back. So one of the few rare projects that I did actually get from Twitter, I was mutuals with the lead dev for a good amount of time and commented on his post for months. At some point I saw that they were potentially starting a Kickstarter, and I finally decided to reach out then. "Hi client, so I've seen you share your GIFs before for insert game, and it looks really great, and I'm excited for it. I like the vibe of it. I'm going to be honest, I tried to look through various pages and see if you already had music in it, but I couldn't hear anything. Are you currently looking for music for your game? If your needs are already met, no worries." And he responded, "Hey Chell, we currently don't have a composer, but I'm putting together a list. Happy to put your name in it and have a look over your portfolio. We're still trying to figure out what the vibe is we're going for with the music." Again, to reiterate, I had already established a connection with my now client at this point. Nothing is more annoying than audio people bombarding your DMs. Also, there are many times in the past that I've reached out to devs and they already had audio. I thanked them for their time, and I told them I'm still very much excited to see more of their work. Just be polite and respectful of people. Anyways, in this rare and lucky case, we had a good discussion about what they were looking for, and he added me to a short list of composers. After some waiting, I followed up. Twice, actually. Cool, let me know what you think. If there's any aspects between multiple songs you like, then I can defo try and combine their elements. Notice that this is November 16th. "Hey client, I'd love to chat after the holidays. Let me know if you'd be down and I'll hit you up come January." And he replied that day, "Yeah, let's talk in January." "Great, I'll reach out to you then." I made a note of that, and then a month later, I reached out January 4th. "Hi client, are you free sometime next week on Monday or Tuesday afternoon to talk about video game?" And then he replied later that day, "Hey Chell, yes, next Monday between 11 and 5 would be great." So later, I ended up asking him why he went with me over any other composer, and apparently one of the biggest factors was that I actually followed up. Use a CRM or a client relationship manager. I keep track of potential leads and put in reminders to follow up. Follow up. Once you have a call, you're in pretty good position to land the gig. At this point, you would discuss expectations, what services you provide, and potentially a price, or at least a ballpark of one. If things go well, you just need to seal the deal with a contract. And again, always use a contract. Your goal is to land a call with a potential client, and if you can get that, your chances suddenly skyrocket. That leads to a very high probability of landing the gig. So Twitter is actually an incredibly rare chance that you can get a gig through it. If you all know me, you know how crazy and obsessive I am about networking, because you have a far higher chance of success to get to the point where you can discuss if your colleague requires music. If you know someone well enough, they might just come to you if they need help. It takes time though, and again, do not jump the gun on asking if they need your services. Remember, rule of thumb, talk to people 6 times, 7 if you're audio. If you can determine that they need music and they are potentially interested in working with you, then give them a call and hammer out the details. How do I get to 6 different interactions, you ask? You'll want to do consistent networking. When you have monthly meetups, you can just go regularly once a month. Just keep showing up. Meet someone new every month. I try to meet at least one new person every time I go to a monthly meetup. And if I see a person that I met previously, I say hi to them, I greet them, I get to know them better. That's really all there is to it. You're in it for the long game. Make friends. Seriously though, just make friends. If you want, check out my other video on 5 tips on networking better. Hopefully that will help. And now, the last scenario I will cover today, job applications. This one is the hardest. Job applications are where it most feels like a battle royale. You will have to go through waves of application. For creative roles, you will often need to send reels or include samples of your work, but most creative applications will require you to send a resume and cover letter too. I'm not going to talk about what makes a good cover letter or resume here because I think there are a lot of resources out there that are a lot more in-depth than what I can do, but don't be afraid to include free projects you've worked on your resume. If you get past the initial phase, you might have to go through a test. If you get past the test, you can land an interview. Tests will just require you to perform the work that you normally do, and like with CVs, I know that there are much better resources available for good interviewing practices. Again, job applications are brutal. I don't put too much stake into job applications because of how difficult it is to land a job that way. And the best advice I have is to be proud of how far you get through the process, whether it's submitting the cover letter for the first time or even getting to the test portion. I've never actually gotten an interview, but as I said earlier, if you can get on a call with a potential client, that means that your odds of getting hired go up exponentially. Also, when a studio does put out an open job application, it's because they don't currently have someone in mind for someone to fill the role that they need. And you can subvert that with networking! Of course, you won't know everyone, but the more you network, the more people you know, the more people they know, and the easier it is for you to find work that way. The way people's minds work is that they first think of who is their friend that they know, and if they don't know, they will ask their friends who they know. If they still don't feel like they're satisfied with their friend recommendations, then they might do an open job application, and at that point it's anybody's game. So, in summary, do not sell. Don't sell. You'll need at least 6 interactions with someone before you even try and get work from them. Don't forget to follow up. I recommend getting a CRM for one. And I think the most important piece of advice I have is roll with the rejections. You're going to get them. You're going to have more rejections than victories. A lot of times it's actually just a numbers game, and you just need to keep at it. And even if you didn't land the job application, that doesn't mean that you weren't a good fit for the company. It just means that someone else might have been a slightly better fit. The chances are that there can really truly be only one person, and they might have like a dozen people that they really think could do a great job, but maybe one person who's just the most right person. So there's my advice for you. It's going to be impossible to get every single job, and even if you do get to a position where everyone wants to hire you, you just can't take all the work. So it also doesn't hurt to know other people that do what you do, and the better, again, that you know someone, the more likely that you will get past work from them. You probably already know someone in your field that has maybe more work than they can actually take on, so it doesn't hurt to be friends with people who share the same discipline as you. Anyways though, once you do finally get that gig is going to cover you for hopefully a long while. If you're a freelancer, you're going to have to get used to doing this process over and over again. And if you are looking for full-time work, then you really only need to win once. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and good luck out there finding those gigs. Remember, if you can get that call, your chances go infinitely higher on landing that gig. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe for more videos on building your career, as well as sign up for my newsletter where I talk about things in higher detail. Also, I read every comment and email, so if you have any questions or have any suggestions on topics you want me to cover, feel free to comment below. Thanks again, till next time, and good luck out there.